Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Now that formal team activities have begun for the Carolina Panthers, excitement is building ahead of what promises to be an enthralling training camp in the Spartanburg humidity. It's been a productive all-season period for the organization in terms of recruitment, although some key departures in free agency means the task falls on others to step up and produce the goods. Things are teetering on the brink for the Panthers in 2022. On one hand, they have a progressive young roster that is capable of making some real improvements if key personnel remain free of injuries. On the other hand, the increased pressure and questions at the quarterback spot could mean more misery is on the horizon. It really is a fine line, and there doesn't appear to be much in the way of optimism within the team's fan base, despite some eye-catching signings from the free agent market and via the 2022 NFL Draft. The only thing that would turn this around is either winning or putting up more of a fight. Anything less will not be tolerated by a fan base that has endured their fair share of sadness since that memorable 2015 campaign that almost resulted in a memorable Super Bowl victory. Memorable, excuse me. Getting my words tied. Sorry, y'all. Without further ado, here are the three strongest position groups on the Panthers ahead of training camp. All right, let's see. Shout out to Krakken. Just got done talking to him, and he's pissed off about these Carolina Panthers. He's about to be a free agent. So now, the first strongest position is the special teams. Although Carolina Panthers made some slight improvements on special teams last season, it was not enough for Chase Blackburn to keep his job. What's followed this offseason leaves this key area of play among the team's strongest, providing everything comes together quickly. The arrival of Chris Tabor as the team's new special teams coordinator is a positive one. The respected figure has accumulated a wealth of success throughout his coaching career, and this was arguably the best appointment Carolina could have made in the circumstances. Zane Gonzalez's outstanding consistency in 2021 earned the kicker a deserved extension and a welcome sense of continuity at a position that had been sorely lacking any sort of production since Graham Gano was allowed to walk. Carolina also brought all-decade punter Johnny Hekker into the fold, which represents a significant upgrade on anything the Panthers churned out at the position last time around. Their kick-returning exploits also received a massive boost with the signing of former All-Pro Andre Roberts shortly after the 2022 NFL Draft. Couple this with some young players blessed with exceptional speed, and things are finally looking up within the special teams unit. Being led by someone like Tabor is the icing on the cake. Now, here's the next position. All right. The Carolina Panthers were faced with a tough decision regarding Dante Jackson and Stephon Gilmore this offseason. The veteran cornerbacks were out of contract, and considering the team's finances, it was unlikely that the organization could keep both around. As it turned out, the Panthers opted to extend Jackson and reward one of their own. This left Gilmore on the outside looking in, and the All-Pro eventually signed for the Indianapolis Colts. Jackson has endured some injury troubles over the years. But his production last season was immensely encouraging, and this decision was obviously made with the short and long term in mind. The former LSU star will now look to form a productive partnership with J.C. Horn, who could be set for a breakout campaign after his rookie season was cut extremely short due to injury. Horn has looked the part throughout the offseason period so far, providing there are no further concerns on the health front. This is a player that could provide the Panthers with a shutdown presence moving forward. C.J. Henderson and Keith Taylor Jr. are two young corners that can develop into key contributors this season. Chris Westry, Stanley Thomas Oliver III, Miles Hartsfield, and Rashawn Melvin are all competing for depth chart status, with the presence of 7th-round selection Kalen Barnes, something else to keep an eye on in training camp. Gilmore's presence on the roster was a major boost on and off the field, but this remains a cornerback group loaded with potential nonetheless. Now, Let's see the final third position. Who saw this coming? After another season littered with torrid production from the offensive line, enough was enough. The Carolina Panthers made strengthening this unit their top priority in free agency, and providing everyone meets their targets, this could be one of the league's most improved groups when it's all said and done. Taylor Moden remained a model of consistency for the Panthers when all around him crumbled. Improving the protection will only help the player as he looks to take another leap into the elite category in 2022. There will be crucial positional battle at the left guard spot in training camp, but this is what Carolina's offensive line could potentially look like for their week one opener against the Cleveland Browns. Left tackle Ikem Ekwonu, left guard Brady Christensen, Pat Elflein, Cade Mays, Cam Irvin, and Deontay Brown are all fighting for that spot, but as right now, Brady Christensen is the first guy starting, it looks like. At center, Bradley Bozeman, he's the solidified starter. Right guard, Austin Corbett. Right tackle, Taylor Moden. Not bad, right? Bozeman and Corbett come with encouraging interior production throughout their careers. However, drafting Ekwonu at number 6 overall could see the Panthers finally solidify the left tackle position with the dominating figure they haven't had since All-Pro Jordan Gross hung up his cleats. A case can be made for the running back course, but one cannot look at the Panthers offensive line with anything other than encouragement right now. And the appointment of Coach James Campen only heightens the level of intrigue. Okay. Okay. So the Carolina Panthers also might not have much to show in terms of results since Matt Rule took charge, but there's enough talent across the roster to suggest that some long-term targets can be met. This was an ethos preached by team owner David Tepper and Rule over the offseason period, but there is no doubt that Panther fans will be searching for some real improvements in 2022, despite the widespread media offering little in the way of optimism from a tough-looking schedule. Everyone has been in good spirits as OTAs got underway this week. Hopefully it will be the first building block to a much improved campaign for Carolina and something that can finally provide the fan base with a sense of hope at long last. With this in mind, we picked out 5 Panther players the team should continue building around for future success. And number 1 is Jeremy Chen, safety from Carolina Panthers. Acquiring dynamic athletic player has been a core part of recruitment for the Carolina Panthers under the current regime, and former second-round pick Jeremy Chen might be the best of the bunch. Chen is athletic, possesses supreme instincts, and has a game-changing presence that can influence proceedings all over the field. The arrival of defensive backs coach Steve Wilkes should help the Southern Illinois product take his game to new heights in 2022, which could see a first Pro Bowl selection arrive if everything falls into place. There is no denying Chen is an integral part of Carolina's plans moving forward. Building around the defensive back and playing to his strengths will be the best way for him to flourish. Number 2, DJ Moore, wide receiver. The Carolina Panthers rewarded DJ Moore for his outstanding consistency over the last 3 years with a bumper new contract this offseason. Something the wide receiver thoroughly deserved after producing the goods with almost no consistency at the quarterback position since entering the league. Moore is a core part of what Carolina is trying to do. Once those in power find the right solution under center, then the former first-round pick is likely to take another leap forward as a result. Whether that is going to be this season or next is yet to be determined, but Moore will continue emerging as a special talent that is now being paid in accordance with his influence on the field. There wasn't much to shout about regarding other prominent pass catchers in Carolina last season. If it hadn't been for Moore, things would have looked incredibly bleak. The Panthers are doing a good job of looking after those they drafted, and Moore is the latest example of this. Building around the Maryland product is only going to help their chances, and the presence of new offensive coordinator Ben McAdoo is another intriguing element to this equation that deserves recognition. Moore has long been underrated in league circles. If the Panthers figure things out at other positions around the wideout, then entering the truly elite category is well within reach. Now, J.C. Horn, cornerback, it was the shortest of sample sizes, but there's a lot to like about J.C. Horn's chances of becoming a true superstar if there are no further complications on the injury front. The Carolina Panthers spurned the chance to draft Mac Jones or Justin Fields in favor of Horn at number 8 overall in the 2021 NFL Draft. This was controversial to some, but it should not detract from what an outstanding talent the cornerback is. Horn has the size, length, and athleticism to become a shutdown presence at the position. His footwork is absolutely off the charts, and being away from the game for so long is clearly something that is motivating the South Carolina product ahead of his sophomore campaign. The Panthers will ask a lot of Horn next season now that Stephon Gilmore is no longer around. His starting partnership with Dante Jackson will be pivotal to the team's aspirations, and if they perform at the required standard or even above expectations, it could see the duo become one of the league's best in no time at all. Should Horn take the necessary strides forward despite his lack of pro experience, then it will cement his status as a foundational piece that can become a consistent difference maker for the Panthers long term. Now, Taylor Moden, offensive tackle. At long last, the Carolina Panthers finally got Taylor Moden some help along the offensive line during free agency and the 2022 NFL Draft. The stud right tackle was one shining light throughout a miserable campaign on the protection last season, and the front office deserves credit for finally prioritizing this key positional group with a view to improving matters. Moden is now entering his sixth season and is easily one of the team's best players. The Panthers rightfully tied the former second round pick down long term last summer, and although there was some moments of struggle, his performances were generally of an extremely high standard. The Western Michigan product gave up just one sack and conceded 5 penalties from 1,149 snaps for the Panthers in 2021. Moden earned a creditable 77.9 grade from Pro Football Focus as a result, and there could be more to come with some substantial improvements at other offensive line positions. Austin Corbett and Bradley Bozeman would shore up the interior after signing in free agency. The Panthers also got extremely lucky when left tackle Ikem Ekwonu fell into their laps at number 6 overall in the first round of the draft. This was a good step in the right direction, but the Panthers have to maintain his thought process and build around Moden, one of the most underappreciated tackles in the business. Last but not least, Brian Burns, defensive end. Expectations were through the roof for Brian Burns in 2021. The defensive end failed to accomplish double-digit sacks for the first time, but he did make the Pro Bowl and recently had his fifth-year option picked up as the Carolina Panthers look to put the necessary financial package together in pursuit of keeping another of their core pieces around. Burns will have a lot on his plate next season after the Panthers decided to let Hassan Reddick walk in free agency, but there is nothing to suggest that the former Florida State standout is not more than ready for the extra attention coming his way. Providing there are slight alternations to Burns' run-stopping ability and he is more consistent finishing all plays, this could be a monumental campaign for the 2019 first-round pick, one that could make him a very wealthy man in the process. General Manager Scott Fitterer stated that tying down Burns long-term is something the Panthers are keen to do at the earliest possible opportunity. However, building around their most prolific pass rusher will only benefit them and the player moving forward. So that was just a little Carolina news, man. I was talking to my brother today. Shout out to Joe Cool as well, Carolina fan. Carolina isn't that far off. It's not. It's not really off. It's not far off for them to do what they have to do. I just think people are just wanted to make sure everybody's on point, you know. Just talking about a little something from the Panthers. The Panthers last year started off undefeated. The problem was that it was fool's gold. And then when J.C. Horn got hurt, that messed him up. Because what he did was he shut down. Like, you need a defense, like especially against these offenses today. you definitely need corners. What J.C. Horn did was he took the pressure off of the guy safety Chen, off of Chen, and then of course off Johnson on the other side. But the thing is that they have to stay healthy, and Matt Rule has to learn how to coach situational football. Like I said, Teddy Bridgewater said it. All you have to do is learn how to coach situational football, and you'll be all right. But they got in their feelings when he told the truth, which I don't understand why. But that's how I go, man. That's how it goes. But hey, it is what it is, man. But they should be good this year. Their line is built up. The only thing is, I think they're gonna mess around and put Carell in there. Carell's gonna end up starting this year at some point. Will he be the long-term QB success? And excuse me, Cam Newton is still out there. Cam Newton has said, he's got teams on the table, but Carolina, they will welcome Cam back. They've already said it. They would welcome him back. So, do I think he ought to come back? I don't know. I think Cam should. I think Cam is looking for a place to go to where he can play for a contender. But the way it's looking, I don't know if anybody's gonna do that, which is sad, man. Cam got treated like crap, while Crybaby Rogers, aka cross-dressing Rogers, can say and do whatever the hell he like to do. but he could do whatever he want to do, right? He could do whatever he want to do. But Cam Newton, a nice guy, one of the most humblest guys out there, gets disrespected. But see, if this is a white quarterback, the fan base and people ain't gonna criticize him like that. So Carolina to me is a very sleeper. They're a sleeper team. They might not win a lot of games this year, but they're gonna compete. That defense I am scared of. But if they can ever get them a quarterback and get them a consistent running game, oh, it's on and popping. It is on and popping. So, thank you for listening. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you guys love what you hear, you guys can donate to the page by going to my link, hitting that link to my Cash App. It's in the description box. You guys can donate whatever your heart's desire. Also, you can super chat during the live. You guys can super chat, during the premiere, during the live video. Also, after that, if you don't do those two things, you can also leave a super thanks for your boy. So thank you guys, man, for your love and blessings. Let's continue to grind this year. Keep the real real and keep the fake away. Thank you for listening. We out. Deezy.